Welcome to the boating adventure. Well, a very good afternoon to you. It is Sunday the 14th of January and I've been looking at the river levels on the Trent, and at the moment they are down in the yellow, so fingers crossed anytime soon I can get down to the boat and take the boat out. I thought I'd leave it for a day or two and let everybody else have to deal with the crud that's going to be surrounding the locks and the lock landings. Let them clear it first. I did my share last time. So in the meantime, I've been very busy here in Lisbon House and I am creating a new YouTube studio for the channel. It involves doing quite a lot of moving of furniture and decorating, moving rooms, and I'm about to knock a wall down. So I'll show you what I've done so far. This is the original studio in Lisbon House. It wasn't very big at all, so I've decided that I would convert this back to a craft room, and it's been taken over by Helen, who's now doing lots of making cards and that kind of thing. So I've had to completely revamp this room, redecorate it, and take all of my recording equipment out. The problem with this room was, because it was fairly short, when I was doing green screening, it was very difficult to be able to get much of a shot. I could only really do this part here, just a portrait really. So in the new studio I'm hoping that I'll be able to get the cameras a lot further back. It's double the space of this at least, and I'm knocking a wall through, so that would give me even more travel with the cameras, so I'm able to get a full shot. And what I'm hoping to do is to set up a whole scene so that I can use that whenever I'm doing introductions and that kind of thing. And it also means that I can use a lot more of my backdrops and things which I've purchased over the years. So I'm really trying to improve the quality and appearance of the videos, so I need the equipment to do it. I've now got a microphone here. That's the one thing that I really want to work on this year, is to get that sound a lot crisper than it has been. Cameras and things are not always that brilliant to recording sound, so I do want to try and use more of the external microphones. So I've got a fun packed afternoon this afternoon. One of the first things I've got to do is to demolish a wall between the new studio and the little room at the side of it. So come and join me. Now, I've never done anything like this before, knocking a wall down between two rooms. It's just a plasterboard wall. There is a supporting strut though, just here, a stud which supports part of the roof. So I've got to avoid that. I've got that marked. I've used one of those little electronic devices which tells you where things are, and hopefully I've got it right. And you can also do the tap-in thing where the sound changes. So I know there's a stud going down here which I'm going to try and avoid. And in this corner here there are some electrics the other side, because there is a light switch which goes up to a central light which will be in the main part of the studio. So I've got to avoid that as well. But in between here I've got enough space to put in a connecting door, and it's going to be a bifold door so that I can open it up and I can bring the camera out further when I want to get a really long shot in the studio. Now, in order to do this, I've marked it out where the framing is going to go, and then following the YouTube advice, everything has to be done by YouTube, I've marked out a little exploratory square. So I'm now going to take a drill and I'm going to drill a couple of pilot holes there, and then I'm going to use a jigsaw. I'm just going to cut out a square to make sure that there's absolutely nothing behind there. Prayers. Let's see how we get on. So far, so good. So I've got my 4 holes and now I'm going to just saw along here. So here goes nothing. Okay, so I've made my inspection hole and you can see what it reveals. On this side there's a stud, and this stud will have to be removed. Now I've checked up at the top in the roof, and this is, it's not a supporting stud or anything like that. It's really just there for battening the plasterboard to. So that will come out. But before I do that, I'm going to put another stud back in, and that will go here. So that distance between that one and another stud, which I know is here, that will be the distance then of the width of the door. If I put my hand in here, I can feel for this stud, and it's just about the right place really. I've been using one of these to calculate it. Pretty simple things. Basically just turn it on, and then I'm looking for 1.5 inch studs, 38 millimeter studs. So just change the setting to 1.5 mil, and then we just press this button here to calibrate it. Okay, and then as we move this across, it should pick up the stud. That's it. And it's telling me that is around about the centre of the stud, which is about right. About right. So that's quite a useful little tool. It's also very good for detecting electricity, the wires, and any metal objects behind there. So I want to be able to expose this stud here. So I'm going to take this inspection hole just a little bit further along till I get to the stud, and then I know exactly where it is, and that's where I take my measurements from for the gap. It's Tuesday the 16th of January 2024, and I've just come over to the swamp duck just to check on that bilge once again. And as you can see, the marina is well and truly frozen at the moment, so the boats won't be moving anytime soon. I do intend to try and take the swamp duck out at the beginning of February, so it's only got a couple of weeks or so for it to get all thawed out, and no more torrential rain, please. I really want to get the boat out. Last year I managed to achieve that in January, but I think I might be struggling with that one. So in the meantime, I can get back home and carry on with all those alterations to the channel studio. Great fun. Since I last checked the bilge, I've just had a quick look, and it is actually perfectly dry, so that's good. We haven't had any rain for almost a week now, so I wasn't expecting to find any water down there. So I'm just going to pass the camera down to the back there to check this bilge, and there's nothing there. Just a tiny little bit that will come out of the bilge pump, really. I try pressing the bilge to see if it does anything. No, it's not enough water to pump out, so that's really good news. A little job that I could really do with doing is getting rid of all this decoration at the front of the boat. It's well and truly wilted. I just haven't been able to come across and get rid of it. I don't know whether that's good luck or bad luck. I think it's bad luck actually, but so we'll have to get rid of it quick. Okay, so that's a little bit better. So if we just check the view at the back of the boat here, you can see it's well and truly frozen with this little layer of snowflakes on the top. Quite pretty, really. I really would like to get the boat cleaned. It's looking a bit green in places, but there isn't any water in the taps at the moment. The marina have turned off the water supply to the pontoon, so I can't really use it anyway. So what we need is a little bit of warmer weather. One of the other reasons for popping over to the boat today is to collect a few tools that are on the boat. I need my little hand drill. That would be very useful when I'm doing some fitting of this door at the studio. So I'm going to collect that in a minute, and there's one or two other bits and bobs that might be useful for what I'm doing. So I'll collect those together and then back to decorating and wall construction, dismantling and door fitting. This is certainly a very dusty job, and it's a question of sort of doing a little bit cleaning up, hoovering, just to keep the dust levels down. So this will be the new entrance to the new Boating Adventure studio. I've now been and bought the stud, and I just need to trim it a little bit before I install it into the wall space. I've almost finished creating the new doorway. Just need to put one stud across there so that I can attach the plasterboard, which has to go back at the top there. I've already made some little pilot holes down this side so that I can be ready to jigsaw out the other side in one go. Okay, so there we are. I fitted the bifold door. Obviously there's a lot of painting to go on, and I need to just sort out the threshold there, get the levels the same with the corresponding floor in the other room. But that essentially is it. And I've got a little bit more of the drywalling to just sand down a little bit. And there's the door. Okay, so this is the second room that I've decorated, and I'm now on to the final chapter of this enterprise, which is to get this room turned into the studio. Well, a very good morning to you. It is January the 27th and it's 10:37, and I'm about to set off to the marina to go and have a look at the boat. We've had a couple of storms since the last time I went and had a look, but they were mainly high wind rather than rain. The River Trent is in the green at the moment and has been for quite a few days. So I'm hoping that a week today, drum roll, I'll be able to get on the Swamp Duck and take the boat out for a few days. I've got a couple of plans of places that I want to visit. So let's go and have a look at the boat and make sure it's all okay. Really need to clean, but I'm not going to do that today. Hopefully I'll be able to do that during the week. Okay, so I've arrived at the boat. I've had a quick look round, nothing in the way of any damage. The only thing I could see was that the dish brush had dropped off the wall and a cloth on the deck had fallen on the floor, and that was about it. So nothing to report in that sense. I've checked the bilge, there's hardly anything in it from last time, nothing at all really, so that's had a bit of a clean out, and it's dry again. The river levels are really good at the moment, so I'm really hopeful that I can get the boat out next weekend with a bit of luck. It's not that warm on the boat at the moment. I've just been looking at the temperature here in the cuddy. Even though I've got these 2 bar heaters on, it's still only about 57 degrees. So I'm going to rely on the old Chinese diesel heater, I think, in the next few days if I do go out on the boat. So let's have a little look at the back of the boat and see what's going on. Okay, so another thing I thought I ought to check is the battery voltage, and you can see there that the voltage is 13.6, so it's charging nicely with the solar, and also charging at the moment because I've got the landline on, so it's fully charged. Temperature on the back of the boat 10.1 degrees Celsius, so it's not very warm at all. I also checked the voltage using the MPPT, the Victron MPPT. You can see on this reading that the battery voltage is 13.88, and the battery is in the float condition. It's because there's nothing going out, so it doesn't need to draw much in. So everything seems okay at the back of the boat. So without further ado, we'll go back to Lisbon House to see how things are progressing with the studio. But actually, we don't have to do that, because with a little bit of magic, we're already here. And as you can see, the studio is working fine. And in actual fact, I wasn't on the boat. So as you can see, the studio is up and working, and I'm using the equipment here to edit this video so I can load it up onto YouTube. I've got a little bit more work to do on that bifold door. I have to put some architrave around it just to smarten it up, and then I've got a little bit more wiring to do with some of the sound equipment. But apart from that, the job is a good one. I am hoping to take the boat out next week on Saturday. I've looked at the weather, and the weather forecast is quite good for Saturday and Sunday and the following week. I am a little bit limited as to where I can go because there are a couple of locks out of action. So 2 of the 4 routes from the marina, I wouldn't be able to go very far. There's a lock closure at Weston-on-Trent, on the Trent and Mersey, and there's a lock closure on the River Soar at Ratcliffe. So the options are to go up the Erewash or to go on the Trent and maybe go up the Trent towards Newark. Haven't quite decided which one I'm going to do yet, but on Wednesday I'm going to go over to the boat, get it all cleaned up and get it kitted out, and I'll decide which way to go. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for all your support, and as always, do take care.